October 13th, 1972. A plane carrying Uruguay's amateur rugby team lifted off from Mendoza, Argentina. Most of them were between 18 and 25 years old. Students, sons, best friends. They were flying to Santiago, Chile for a rugby match. They never made it. The plane clipped the Andes at full speed. Both wings tore off instantly. The fuselage became a metal bullet, sliding down a mountain at over 100 miles an hour. 12 people died before the plane even stopped moving. 33 survived the crash. Then the real nightmare began. Minus 40-degree nights. No food, no radio contact, no rescue coming. On day 16, an avalanche buried them while they slept, killing 8 more. They made the most impossible decision any human being has ever faced, and 72 days after the crash, only 16 walked out alive. The world knows what happened in those 72 days, but nobody talks about what happened after. What did each one do with the rest of their life? Who did they become? What did they never forget? This is that story. Number 1. Nando Parado. He was 22 years old when the plane hit the mountain. His mother was killed on impact. His younger sister Susie survived the crash but died 8 days later in his arms. He woke up from a coma on day 3 with nothing left to lose. That is what made him the most dangerous man on that mountain. A man with nothing left to lose is capable of anything. He was the one who said, "We are not waiting to be rescued, we are walking out ourselves." He climbed the mountain with no gear, no rope, no map. When he reached the summit, he expected to see green valleys below. Instead, more mountains. As far as he could see, he kept walking anyway. 10 days later, 16 people were rescued because of him. After coming home, the world expected Nando to disappear quietly. He didn't. He became one of Uruguay's most recognized TV presenters. He built businesses. He travels the world giving talks. He is 73 years old today, and his message has never changed. The only way to honor the dead is to live fully for the living. Number 2. Roberto Canessa. 19 years old. First year of medical school. In those 72 days on the mountain, he became the doctor. When a survivor named Mangino broke his leg in the crash, Canessa knelt down in minus 20-degree cold, no anesthesia, no equipment, no training for this, and set the broken bone with his bare hands. Mangino screamed. Canessa kept going. Decades later, surgeons examined Mangino's leg and said, "Whoever fixed this did a perfect job." That someone was a 19-year-old boy in the snow with his hands. After rescue, Canessa went back and finished medical school. He became a world-renowned pediatric cardiologist. He has spent 40 years saving children's hearts. He is 70 years old today, still operating. He wrote a book called I Had to Survive. And he said this, "When everything is taken from you, you find out exactly who you are. The mountain didn't break me. The mountain made me." Number 3. Javier Methol. He was the oldest survivor, 36 years old. His wife Liliana was on the plane with him. She was not a rugby player. She was just there because she wanted to be with her husband. She survived the crash. She survived the first 16 days. Then, the night of October 29th, the avalanche hit while they slept. Javier felt the snow crush down on him in the dark. He dug himself out. He looked for Liliana. She was gone, buried somewhere under the snow inside the fuselage. For the next 54 days, Javier Methol lived every day, knowing his wife was under the snow beneath his feet. He never moved far from that spot. When reporters asked how he survived, he said, "I had no choice. She would have wanted me to live." He came home. He remarried. He had more children. He never stopped talking about Liliana, not for 43 years. He died in 2015 of cancer. At his funeral, every survivor who could come, came. Number 4. Jose Luis Inciarte. Everyone called him Coche. He came home and did something nobody expected. He became a farmer. No books, no speaking tours, no television, just land, animals, quiet mornings. He did write one book, late in his life. He called it Memories of the Andes. In it he wrote, "We did not survive because we were the strongest. We survived because we refused to let each other give up." He died in 2023 of cancer. He was the last of the 16 to die. Of all of them, Koch understood something the others spent years figuring out. That ordinary life is the most extraordinary gift there is. Now, the others. Eduardo Strauch became an architect. He owns one of Uruguay's most respected design firms. He has said that every building he designs, he thinks about structure, about what holds together when everything is trying to tear it apart. His cousin Fito Strauch worked alongside him. Two men who survived together, built together. Pancho Delgado opened a law firm. He became one of Uruguay's respected attorneys. Tintin Vizintin, who turned back on the final mountain climb so Nando and Canessa would have enough food, became president of the Uruguayan Rugby Union. He celebrated his 70th birthday in 2023. Gustavo Zerbino became CEO of the Uruguayan Rugby Federation. He also worked in pharmaceuticals. He said, "The mountains taught me that the human body can do almost anything if the human mind leads the way." Carlitos Paez became a painter. He says his art is his way of saying what words never could. Every painting, he says, has a little bit of the Andes in it. Alvaro Mangino, the man whose leg Canessa fixed in the snow, married, had children, became a grandfather. He works in air conditioning and heating in Montevideo. The most ordinary life lived with the deepest gratitude. Roy Harley, the one who built the radio from plain parts, lived quietly after rescue. He never sought attention, never wrote a book, never gave speeches. He just went home. Pedro Algorta became a businessman, moved internationally, rarely speaks about the Andes, but when he does, he always says the same thing. We were not heroes. We were just boys who wanted to go home. Every year. Without fail. December 22nd. The survivors meet. Same date they were rescued, 52 years ago. They bring their wives, their children, their grandchildren. Over 50 years, these families have grown up together. The children have watched each other take first steps, graduate, get married, have babies of their own. When Koshe Inciarte died in 2023, they all came. When Javier Methol died in 2015, they all came. Year after year, December 22nd. 14 old men who were once terrified boys on a frozen mountain standing together. Still, in late 2023, before Society of the Snow was released to the world, Netflix arranged something extraordinary. A private screening just for the survivors. All 14 of them. Together, in one room. For the first time in their lives, they watched their own story on screen. Actors playing their dead friends, the mountain, the fuselage, the decisions they made. Roberto Canessa said, "I was immersed in that place again. I was back in the fuselage." When the film ended, the kind of silence that fills a room completely. Then, one man started clapping, then another, then all of them, thunderous applause. Then, they turned to each other and cried. 14 old men, crying together, for the boys they once were, for the 29 friends they lost, for 50 years of living that their friends never got to have. 45 people boarded a plane. 16 came home. One became a heart surgeon who has spent 40 years saving children. One became an architect who builds things that never collapse. One became a painter who captures what words cannot say. One became a farmer who understood that quiet life is the greatest gift. One spent 43 years never forgetting his wife. And all of them, every single December 22nd, choose to remember, not because they have to, but because they made a promise. To the 29 who didn't make it home, that their lives would mean something. Roberto Canessa said it best, "The crash didn't define us. What we did after, that is who we are." Which survivor's story hit you the hardest? Nando, Canessa, Javier Methol? Tell us below.